Alright everybody, welcome back to the channel. If you're new around here, my name's Jazz Vader, and in today's video, we're going to be ranking every Season 5 in Fortnite history from worst to best. Now, just quickly, I do want to mention these are my own opinions. So if you think something should be a little bit higher, a little bit lower, let me know down below in the comments. I'd love to see what you guys think. And just quickly, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. We're well on the way to 1,000 subscribers, so any help is appreciated. But hey, without further ado, let's just dive straight into the Season 5 ranking. And kicking off this list, starting all the way at the number 5 spot, is what I would consider to be an incredibly forgettable one, and it is Chapter 2 Season 5. I mean, I gotta say, this is potentially one of the most 6 out of 10 seasons of all time. It's not like mind-blowing, it's not like crazy, it doesn't do anything too revolutionary, and of course it was stuck after 4 of the best seasons in Fortnite history. So yeah, it was never really gonna get far up the list. But you know what? It was actually still a pretty decent season. But of course, what did it actually add to the game? I mean, the whole theme of this season was of course bounty hunters, and alongside that came the bounty boards, which yeah, it was actually a pretty cool system for the time. You know, it led to so much fun content. Like if you wanted to get into a fight, you were like mid-match, you've been jogging around for absolutely ages, you didn't know what to do, you would just go to one of these bounty boards, you could literally just get into a fight with another player. Of course, we also have to talk about what it added to the game. You had stuff like sand tunneling, which essentially with the whole like center of the map, it was kind of like sandy. If you stood still for about 10 seconds, I believe, you'd actually go under the sand and you could kind of just crawl around in it. I don't really know how to describe it. It kind of felt like, if anyone remembers how the Chrome Splash worked, it was kind of like that. I mean, you also had incredible locations. You know, you had Salty Towers, which was kind of like a mixture of Tilted Towers and Salty Springs. Listen, I know this might be a controversial one. I don't quite know the community's opinion on this one, but I love this thing to pieces. I think it's one of the best POIs across Fortnite history. It's such a shame this one only lasted a single season. You also had the Coliseum, which was actually really interesting because it would change between match to match. I believe it had 3 variations where it had like builds in the middle of it, and then one of them where it was empty, and then one of them where it was kind of like ships on water fighting each other. It was honestly a really cool drop in that regard. You know, you drop there, you wouldn't know what you were landing to. You also had the Hunter's Haven location, which was actually pretty cool. I didn't really care for this one all too much. It was kind of just a little bit mediocre. It was a little bit boring, a little bit ugly. It didn't have that much loot, but I believe the whole like gimmick of this location was the fact that it had like tons of NPCs roaming around. And yeah, I completely forgot about that. I mean, this season, it also added character NPCs and mid-match quests, which is absolutely insane. Imagine that. We didn't have NPCs to talk to in the middle of a match until this season. It did have a pretty mediocre loot pool, if I'm going to be totally honest. I mean, I gotta say, I absolutely despise the lever action shotgun. It's one of my least favorite shotguns of all time. It just feels incredibly inconsistent. It's always doing like 60 damage. You also had the repeater rifle, which was it was really, really bad. It's not the explosive one. It was just a projectile one, and it felt miserable to use. But I mean, you know what? The loot pool wasn't all terrible. I do have to mention this very important thing this specific season brought to the game, and that is exotics as a concept. Yeah, that's right. This season was the first season to have a single exotic. I mean, I gotta say, the ones from this season, they weren't the best. You know, you had the boom sniper rifle, and you had the Nighthawk. I mean, this season, yeah, it's definitely very influential in this regard. Added so much to the game that we're literally going to make a core part of the game's identity. But otherwise, the rest of the season, you know, it's kind of just mediocre. And when you're gonna consider it against all of the other Season 5s that have released across Fortnite history, it just fell down the list. But hey, following that one up, coming up next at the number 4 spot in this list is one that I'm definitely going to get slandered for putting all the way down here. You know, I mean, some people quite rightly, honestly, consider it to be one of the best seasons in Fortnite history, and it is Chapter 1 Season 5 Worlds Collide. Now listen, yeah, I know this season has a cult classic status now. You know, it is revered. Everybody loves this one. Everybody glazes it, you know, like it saved their entire family. In retrospect, people love this season, but you got to remember, at the time, people were actually hating this season, and honestly I think it's because of one major issue that was building up all the way through early Chapter 1, and that is the spray meta. I mean, this issue started all the way back in Chapter 1 Season 1. You know, you had the TAC SMG, which is one of the best SMGs in the game, and then the issue just kept getting worse and worse and worse with the additions of SMGs like the drum gun and the submachine gun. But I'm going to be fully honest, I think the breaking point for this issue was with the addition of the Prime P90. I mean, it just made this season feel miserable to play. And listen, I know there's going to be people coming in, you know, they played Season OG, Season 5, and they're going to be like, hey, what do you mean? It wasn't that big of an issue. But you got to remember, with that mod, all of the SMGs had the post-nerf stats, and it was definitely a lot nicer because of it. But I mean, listen, outside of that single issue, the additions to the game brought with this season were absolutely incredible, you know? I mean, you had some of the best locations in Fortnite history, you know? You had Paradise Palms, you had the Pueblo Town, you had Lazy Links, and the Full Forest Dusty Depot with the diner, which is the best iteration of Dusty Divot by far. You also had items like the double barrel shotgun, the Rift to Go, the shockwave grenade, the heavy sniper, and the grappler. Like, I mean, it's just insane. All of these items came from the same season. You know? I mean, yeah, it's definitely very similar to Chapter 2 Season 5 in that regard. You know, it wasn't the best overall, but it introduced some stuff that would either go on to be a core part of the game or be a huge source of inspiration for so many other items. You've also just got to quickly mention, and I don't usually like to mention, so you got to understand just how stacked up this one is. Also had one of the best battle passes of all time. You know, you had Ragnarok, Drift, Sunstrider, Redline. All of these skins are iconic. And you know what, even talking about iconic, you also had the addition of the cube, which need I even say more, you know? It would actually kickstart Hut Watch into action, if you know you know, and it would set the stage for huge mini events like this to even exist today. I mean, without the cube, there'd be no Pandora's Box, there'd be no Vault Runes, there'd be no Dark Voyager. Honestly, it was a super fun season overall. It was just a little bit unbalanced, a little bit unfair, and that's why it's at the number 4 spot on this list. And coming up next, sitting all the way at the number 3 spot on this list, is Chapter 6 Season 5 Shock and Awesome. Now listen, if you guys are wondering why it's in this video, essentially, in order for me to actually rank the mini-seasons on this list, I decided to turn them into their own seasons respectively. So for example, Chapter 6 Mini-Season 1 Galactic Battle will become Chapter 6 Season 3. It just means that we don't have to leave the mini-seasons out, and in the case of Shock and Awesome, I mean, it probably would have ended up between the number 3 and 4 spot anyway, so its position doesn't really change, and my opinion on it doesn't really change. Now listen, I mean, the season overall is very hard to discuss, honestly, because it's very clearly split into 2 different seasons. If we're talking about the first half, then, I don't know guys, it's not exactly the best season of all time. I definitely think it was fun, you know? It was really good, it was really fun, it was really action-packed, but even I can't argue against how incredibly chaotic the loot pool in this season was, you know? I mean, in the first week of the season alone, I think we had like 10 different items come out of the vault and then immediately revolt themselves after like 2 days. I mean, did you guys even know the boom ball got added to the game? Because I didn't. I never got to use it. And yeah, honestly, the best way I could sum up this first half of the season is definitely that there was way too much going on, you know? You know, you had the medallions, which were comically overpowered. I mean, the truth of the matter was that if you came across somebody with these items, you just weren't gonna win, you know? You were finished. It was just too much, dude. It was too much. I mean, talking about the items this season brought to the table, I do feel like we kind of have to address the elephant in the room, which is the Wrecker Revolver. This thing was a menace. It's insane this thing was ever brought to a loot pool. And the reason this weapon has such a reputation is because of one single fact, and that was the fact that it could double pump. It had an insane range on it as well, so you were just double pumping people halfway across the map, you know, like 150 meters easily. I mean, come on guys, when you've created a weapon that can actually rival the prime pump shotgun, you've messed up so badly. I mean, of course, that wasn't the only overpowered weapon in this loot pool. You know, you had all of the exotics that got added to this season. I mean, the exotic OXR rifle was so strong, there's actually an argument to be had that this weapon is stronger than the overclocked pulse rifle. That's just how good these things were, you know? I mean, this first half of the season was just way too much to handle. I mean, I haven't even mentioned the Swarm Strike and the Bug Blaster, but in my opinion, where this season shines is with its second half. Like, I mean, you had all the bugs vaulted, you had all of the K-pop Demon Hunters items added to the game, you know, you had, like Ruby's Mythic Sword, the Varmin Healing item, the Golden Healing Shield Bubble, the Teleporting Mask. Honestly, the items that came out of this event were just incredible. They were fantastic to use. They certainly didn't feel overpowered. You also had some of the best locations of all time in the second half. Like, I mean, you had Dreamy Domain, Harmony Hills, the return of Freaky Fields, Bug Swatter Beach, Creepy Camps, Gertie Gate. You know, you had the whole of Fortnite, which, oh my days, that was easily one of the best we've ever had. In my opinion, once this season got everything it had in order, it removed all of the overpowered stuff and it kept all of the really good stuff. I honestly think this is a phenomenal season and it more than deserves to be sat where it is on the list. It was really good, it was really fun, even through the first part of the season it was really fun, but I just think there's 2 more seasons on this list that are more balanced, more fun, more iconic, and are better than it in every single way. And one of those seasons coming up next at the number 2 spot in this list is one of the best seasons of all time, and it is Chapter 4 Season 5 OG. Of course, when you're talking about this season, you do have to keep in mind that it was the first ever mini-season. So we really got to judge it as one. I mean, they were in no shape or form expecting this season to be as popular as it was. I mean, it just came completely out of the blue. Essentially, what this season was, if somehow you're not familiar with it, is that it was basically all of late Chapter 1 in 1 month-long package. And listen, in my opinion, it did kind of suck towards the end, which is definitely why it didn't quite get to the number 1 spot. I believe it had 4 updates: Season 5 for Week 1, Season 6 for Week 2, Season 7 and 8 for Week 3, and Season 9 and 10 for Week 4. And yeah, listen, I am going to say those last 2 weeks, they weren't exactly amazing. I believe Season 9's entire contribution was literally just the combat and attack assault rifle, and the entire volcano area just got dropped for Season 8. But I mean, the Season 5 and 6 weeks, you know, they were literally some of the best updates in Fortnite history. I mean, this season, it was just fun all the way through. It was fun. It felt great. Like, everybody you knew was playing, you know, everybody you knew came back, all your friends, all of the streamers that quit the game. I mean, it just felt great to be finally back playing a classic Fortnite. I mean, the season had a phenomenal loophole, you know, everything good from Chapter 1 came back. And unlike Season X, which also had a very similar, you know, bring back everything mentality, everything that wasn't exactly the best would stay in the vault. Like, I mean, you had the return of the Scar, the Burst, the Pump. People were ready to get this loophole back. People were just bouncing off the walls to get a good pump shotgun. I mean, the movement in the season was great too, you know, we had the return of the drift boards. You also had the shockwaves and the shopping trolley and the planes. I mean, everything was here. It's probably one of the most action-packed seasons of all time, and it also ended with a generational live event to cap it off with the Big Bang. I mean, it was obviously just a massive ad for the metaverse mods, but that didn't stop it from being stunning to watch, and especially the bit at the very start of the event where it was just kind of like a reprise of the end. It sent shivers down my spine as someone who watched the original all the way back in 2019. It felt unreal to be saying goodbye to the Chapter 1 map again, and honestly, if I could have one more day playing this season, I would take it in a heartbeat. I mean, it had millions of people playing every single day, and that's definitely for a reason, you know? I mean, it's one of the best seasons in the game's history, let alone out of all the Season 5s on this list. However, as you guys may have noticed, it's not at the number 1 spot. So, what is? And sitting all the way at the top of the list, all the way at the number 1 spot, it's the one, it's the only, it is Fortnite Remix. Now listen, I know this is going to be very controversial putting this above OG. People glaze that season to high heaven. I mean, it is one of the best seasons of all time, but honestly, I just think Remix was better as a season overall. I mean, Remix stayed super strong all the way through. I mean, that is definitely a big issue I had with OG. I'll touch on this a little bit later, but Remix definitely stayed consistent all the way through. It never had a bad week. It had an absolutely gorgeous loophole, which never felt too bloated. You know, you had all the mythics like the Snoop drum gun, which was an actual demon. You also had Rap God's minigun, which would actually sing the titular song when you shot it. It was such a hilarious weapon idea, and it was actually really, really good. But honestly, I think the best part of this season was definitely the map that you were playing on. The Chapter 2 map is easily my favorite map in Fortnite history. It felt great to be back playing this thing again. I mean, the actual gameplay in this season, you know, it just felt like another season of Chapter 2, which I really, really mess with. OG, you know, it was definitely a celebration, and it definitely felt like it. It didn't feel very attached to Chapter 1 whatsoever. But I mean, with this, you know, with Remix, you literally could have slotted it in between Chapter 2 Season 2 and Chapter 2 Season 3, and nobody would have noticed. It didn't miss the mark at all. I mean, this season was just so much fun, and I haven't even talked about all of the new features that it brought to the game. Like, you had the boss reworks, which would essentially let you hire a boss after you eliminated them. Honestly, I'm a little bit mixed on this change. Let me know down in the comments whether you liked it or not, but in my opinion, I just think it was a little bit unneeded. You also had the hydraulic cars, which were ridiculous and broken as well. I mean, people were like flying across the map with these things. It was hilarious. It also ended with one of the best, if not the best, concert live events of all time, you know? I mean, it was super fun, it was super cool, great collection of songs, and it was a beautiful tribute to both Juice WRLD and Chapter 2 as a whole. I mean, I was just like tearing up a little bit, remembering all the time I spent with the island as I flew above it towards the end of the concert. Honestly, yeah, overall, in the case of Remix, while it was slightly less popular than Season OG, and it did a little bit less content-wise than said mini-season, it just felt fun. It was a perfect balance between quantity and quality, which is definitely a big issue that late Season OG struggle with. It's honestly one of my favorite seasons of all time. It just felt a little bit more consistent, it felt a little bit more fun, and that's why it sat all the way at the top of the list at the number 1 spot. Alright everybody, thank you so much for sticking all the way till the end of the video. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Like I said, we're almost at 1,000 subscribers, so any help is appreciated. I also just want to quickly mention, we do also have a Discord server, so if you want to join that, there's a link in my description. We have an amazing community, tons of fun minigames, and I can't wait to see you there. But hey, at the end of the day, all you really gotta do is stay safe, drink some water, and have a fantastic day. Bye bye!